patch you were hearing is Balloon, and that and lots of other patches are available for the DeepMind based on Boards of Canada Aphex Twin Lone, lots of 90s house music. You'll find the link in the description box for downloading these patches. I'm going to do a series of tutorials on the Octatrack and show how it can be your central hub, replacing your mixer, your effects, your sequencer, your drum machine. It really does it all. In my case right here, it's working as the mixer. The DeepMind 12 is going into the Octatrack. The Octatrack is working as the synth keyboard. It's playing the DeepMind 12, working as the sequencer. It's arpeggiating the DeepMind 12, making up its own melody in a way, because it's also transposing the arpeggiation. It's controlling the tempo, so if I play a patch on the DeepMind 12 that uses arpeggiation, it will be in tempo sync. And the LFO inside the Octatrack is modulating the filter very slowly, giving it that feel of old tape. And the Octatrack is acting as the drum machine. So let me show you how it controls the synth using MIDI. Step 1 will be to run your synth into input AB. What you'll do is double tap and you'll choose through track. Hit yes and then hit no to exit. And then you choose using encoder A in AB. In my case, the volume is really weak, so I turn the volume up. In order for your through track to work, hit record and be sure and put a trig on step 1. And now if you play the synthesizer, if it has a keyboard, you should hear it. If it doesn't, we're going to get to making the Octatrack into the keyboard anyway. Let's put the Octatrack in charge of the clock so that any patches we use on the synthesizer that deal with delay or arpeggiation or anything like that will be in perfect sync with the Octatrack. So we'll hit Function MIDI, and in the menu, check the clock send box by hitting yes. So then you want to hit your MIDI button and select one of the tracks as your MIDI track. I'm selecting track 3 as mine. And double tap the SRC button. And using encoder A, set your MIDI channel that you want to communicate with your synthesizer on. For me, it's channel 16, and then you want to click the encoder. So in the DeepMind and many other keyboards probably work in a similar way. You go into global, and then under MIDI settings, you'll want to have MIDI control set to CC, no program change, and I've got the transmit and receive channels on 16. Hit no and go back in just to make sure that it's the channel you selected. If it's not, make sure you click encoder A. Hit no. Hit function and the down button. Select the chromatic mode. Take it out of record, and what you're seeing here is a representation of the black and white keys on the keyboard. You have to use your imagination here a little bit, but the lit ones are the white keys, the unlit ones are the black keys. So now we can play the keys. You can use function and arrow right and arrow left to get octaves with your new chromatic keyboard. So you hold down record play, and with record flashing you can still see the chromatic keyboard, and you just play the notes in. Hit record and you can then examine and change your notes. In my case, I have 4 notes. Hit function and page, and you can scale the pattern. Let go and keep hitting page. You can have 16, 32, 48, or 64. I've got 64. Hit no to exit. Should mention right here that each track can have its own pattern length, but you have to select this in the menus first. You hit function pattern, and then check per track scale mode. And you can see that on each page I've got the same 4 trigs. And we can examine each trig and see details on it. Hold it in, and on the screen you can see that this is note C3, velocity 100, note D3, E3, and G3. Hit amp and you see the arpeggiator section. I have an arpeggiator on right now and it's being transposed. See right there, tran 0. It's actually being transposed by the LFO, and I'll show you that in a second. So let me just turn that off. Right now it's on random. Now the mode is off. I'll just show you what the trigs that I have in sound like. That's being transposed by an LFO right now. But it's really the same 4 trigs on all these pages. But then with the addition of the arpeggiation on random, kind of makes its own little melody there. So going over to LFO, you'll want to hit function LFO, and it's LFO2 that's controlling the transposition of the arpeggiator. And the LFO is also modulating CC5. So let's go over and see what CC5 is. It's on page 2 of the MIDI control setup, and it's right there. CC5 is CC29, number 29. Now my DeepMind tells you all the CCs and what they are. Now if you don't know what the CC is, you don't have a list with your keyboard, and it's a modulatable CC, you can hit function and then click the encoder, and it says MIDI CC learn, and then you just move the control. Like if you wanted to change the filter, like I'm doing here, I'm modulating the filter, put it in this mode here and then move the filter control. Then back on the main screen you'll want to give CC5 a value. I've put in 38. So there's really 2 things to do. You've got to turn it on right there, CC5, but you've also hit function and control 2. You've also got to tell it what CC to modulate. Well, this gets us started in making our little live performance rig with the Octatrack at the center of it. The Octatrack is going to be the drum machine and the mixer, and we're going to have maybe the MS-101 doing the bass line. We'll have the DeepMind 12 or some other synth playing melodies and chords and things like that. And we'll sample the songs that we're doing and remix those and glitch them up and do all kinds of stuff. It's all coming up. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for all so YouTube doesn't tell you what you can watch and what you can't watch. See you in the next video.